Neuralink gets approval to start human trials in Canada. The New York Times says OpenAI deleted evidence in its copyright lawsuit. And chemists have created the world's thinnest spaghetti. It has a medical use. It's Thursday, November 22nd, and this is Engadget News. The first Neuralink clinical trials outside the U.S. will take place in Canada. Neuralink has secured Health Canada's approval to launch human trials in the country, with the Toronto Western Hospital being the first and exclusive surgical site for the procedure. The company first opened its Canadian patient registry in March of this year, but now it's actively looking for potential participants. An announcement on X said recruitment is now open. Under the CAN-PRIME study, Neuralink will embed its implant in the brain of the participant so that it can interpret their neural activity. The implant will allow them to control a computer or a smartphone with their brain without the need for wires or any kind of physical movement. Neuralink says the study aims to evaluate the safety of its implant and surgical robot and assess the initial functionality of its brain-computer interface for enabling people with quadriplegia to control external devices with their thoughts. What it learns from their trials could help the company find safer ways to place the implant inside the brain, as well as to enhance the technology's capabilities. Neuralink's first human patient received his implant earlier this year. He experienced some issues, wherein the implant's threads retracted from his brain, though he seems to be doing well these days. On X, he said that he will soon challenge himself to use Neuralink for 72 hours to demonstrate what the technology can do. For its second patient, Neuralink employed mitigation measures to prevent thread retraction. That patient was already using computer-aided design software mere weeks after his surgery in July. At the moment, Neuralink is specifically looking for patients who have limited or no ability to use both hands due to cervical spinal cord injury or ALS for its trials in Canada. A decade ago, Stephen Hawking told Last Week Tonight's John Oliver a chilling but memorable hypothetical story about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. The gist of it was that a group of scientists build a super-intelligent computer and ask it, "Is there a God?" The computer answers, "There is now," and a bolt of lightning zaps the plug, preventing it from being shut down. Let's hope that's not what happened with OpenAI and some missing evidence from the New York Times' plagiarism lawsuit. Wired reported that a court declaration filed by the New York Times on Wednesday says that OpenAI's engineers accidentally erased evidence of the AI's training data that took a long time to research and compile. OpenAI recovered some of the data, but the original file names and folder structure that show when the AI copied its articles into its models are still missing. OpenAI spokesperson Jason Dutram disagreed with the NYTimes claims and said the company will file its response soon. The Times has been battling Microsoft and OpenAI over alleged copyright infringement with its AI models since December of last year. The lawsuit is still in its discovery phase when evidence is requested and delivered by both sides to build its case for trial. OpenAI had to turn over its training data to the Times, but has not publicly revealed the exact information it used to build the AI models. Instead, OpenAI created a sandbox of two virtual machines so the NYT's legal team could conduct its research. The New York Times' legal team spent more than 150 hours sifting through the data on one of the machines before the data was deleted. OpenAI acknowledged the deletion, but the company's legal team called it a glitch. Although OpenAI engineers tried to correct the mistake, the restored data was missing the New York Times' work. This led the New York Times to essentially recreate everything from scratch. Now, the New York Times lawyers said they had no reason to believe the deletion was intentional. Researchers from the University College London have done what celebrity chefs and Italian nonnas could only dream of. They've made the world's thinnest spaghetti. This culinary-sounding accomplishment, published in Nanoscale Advances, has yielded strands of starch nanofibers that are just 372 nanometers wide, which is invisible to the naked eye and is even smaller than some wavelengths of light. Now, the world's thinnest spaghetti sounds silly, right? But starch can actually have important applications in medicine. For instance, nanofiber starches could help wounds heal when used in bandages, since they'd be able to keep out bacteria while allowing moisture through. Rather than going through the energy-intensive process of refining their own plant cell starch for nanofibering, these chemists decided store-bought was fine and made their strands directly from flour. Their version of the nanofibers were created with a process called electrospinning, where an electric charge pulls a flour and liquid mixture through extremely small metal holes into threads that are just nanometers wide. Extrusion through a die is literally the same way you'd make conventional spaghetti to accompany your bolognese or your meatballs, only at a much, much smaller scale. There's still a lot of study to be done before the product will be appearing in the doctor's office, but this is a step toward more sustainable starch nanofibers. And while I would pay good money to watch chefs try to explain invisible pasta on a reality show, electrospinning almost certainly will not become the new molecular gastronomy hotness. As co-author Professor Gareth Williams of the UCL School of Pharmacy put it, I don't think it's useful as pasta, sadly, as it would overcook in less than a second before you could take it out of the pan. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Mariella Moon, Danny Gallagher, and Anna Washenko, and was voiced and produced by me, Steve White, from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back Monday with more tech news from Engadget.